everybody. Get your engines fired up. It's time for Lights Out. Let's chat.
Okay, so Suzuka just happened, and we need to talk about it. Because this wasn't just a race. This was one of those weekends where, if you were paying attention, Formula One exposed everything. We had a teenager winning, again, Red Bull struggling, and cars randomly losing speed mid lap. Yeah, this one is messy. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lights Out, Let's Chat. I'm your host Michaela, and let's dive into the action. Let's talk about this amazing track. Suzuka is based in Japan. It is one of the most technical tracks in Formula One. It has fast corners, flowing sections, and no margin for error. If your car isn't balanced, you don't just feel it, you suffer. You know, emotionally, physically, even spiritually. And here's the thing, if the driver doesn't trust the car, they're gonna hesitate. And hesitation at Suzuka is basically you. Okay, quick reset. Because if you're new here, the weekend structure alone is like a syllabus. You have 3 practices, qualifying, and race. The practices equals learning, qualifying equal pressure, race equals chaos. And sometimes, practices equals team pretending everything is fine when it absolutely is not. Okay, let's talk about these practices, because this is where the story starts. Starting off strong with FP1, also known as Free Practice 1, these are a bit of our early warning signs that we have seen. Mercedes and McLaren, immediately fast, like no warm-up needed fast. Oscar Piastri looked planted, confident, and smooth. Kimi Antonelli? Well, already looking comfortable at Suzuka. As a rookie. That's slightly terrifying. And then there's Red Bull. Max Verstappen is complaining about balance, oversteer, and honestly, he has the lack of confidence. Which is basically F1 code for this car is trying to kill me. Now we have Free Practice 2. This is the chaos section. FP2 was a complete mess. Interruptions, stops, and no clean running times. Teams couldn't get long run data, which is kind of important. Because here's the bigger issue. Energy deployment. Drivers started noticing cars losing speed mid-lap, weird power delivery, inconsistent performance. And everyone's like, oh, that's no big deal. Well, it is with these new regulations that are happening to the cars. Now we have Free Practice 3. This is the final practice. Mercedes, still super fast. McLaren right there behind them. Ferrari was quietly lurking, but Red Bull is still off. You know, like, we'll circle back to this. Off. Okay, let's dive into qualifying. Knockout format, pressure, tiny margins. And this weekend was even worse than the past couple of races. Because FIA changed energy deployment rules. So now drivers had to manage battery during their flying laps, which is insane. The result of this? Messy laps, mistakes, a lot of confusion. But once again, the young driver Kimi Antonelli got pole position. Coming in at P2 was his teammate George Russell. Coming in at P3 was Oscar Piastri. That's a huge win for McLaren. So, it basically was a Mercedes front row lockout. They have been dominant, clean, and in control. But here's the shocking part. Max Verstappen was out in Q2, meaning he ended in the midfield at Suzuka. His car is unstable, oversteery, and basically unpredictable. And at a track where confidence is everything, that was a disaster. Lights out, and the race has started. Immediately, Antonelli drops from P1 to P6. That's painful for this young rookie. Now the race opens up, strategy matters. Chaos begins. And then, bam, Oliver Bearman closing rapidly. Huge speed difference, swerves, grass, loses it. He hits the barrier super hard. He was going at least 300 kilometers per hour. For us Americans, that's 186 miles per hour. He got hit with 50 Gs. That was the impact. That was massive. But luckily, he climbs out. He was limping, but at least he was okay. That's safety doing its job. Now, why it happened? Well, this part is scary. It wasn't just a mistake. It actually was the 2026 new regulations. Energy deployment created massive closing speeds, like 40 to 50 kilometers per hour differences. Again, us Americans, that's 25 to 32 miles per hour. Drivers warned about this, and now it caused a major crash. Of course, the safety car comes out, and this is the race. Antonelli pits, perfect timing, cycles forward, and takes the lead once again. That pit stop won Antonelli the race. From there, he controlled it, it was clean, he was dominant. So, FP1, Kimi Antonelli, FP2 was Oscar Piastri, and that is a huge win for McLaren. They have been struggling with the past couple of races. And of course, P3 was Charles Leclerc. And the winning margin? This is crazy. The winning margin was 13 seconds. Yeah, that's not luck for the rookie. That is skill, proving he belongs at the top. Let's talk bigger picture here. Red Bull, not competitive, car issues. Max, frustrated. We have entered unfamiliar territory for Mr. Max Verstappen. So sorry, Red Bull fans. Now, there is an energy problem happening. Cars are inconsistent, drivers are starting to become super unhappy, and now there's safety concerns. The FIA is completely under pressure. But Mercedes has 2 wins in a row. Kimi Antonelli leading the World Championship, which is huge for him because he is now the youngest driver who might actually win the World Championship. It's giving main character energy. Of course, I can't forget about McLaren. Piastri podium, a comeback. This is quiet, but super important. Not every race needs chaos. But if we're creating chaos through bad regulations, that's different. Because this weekend felt like a warning. Okay, I want to try out this new segment called F1 Beginner Questions of the Week. So, this week's question is, what is an undercut? Well, short answer, an undercut is when a driver pits earlier than the car ahead to use fresh tires to then jump them. Now, let's actually break this down so everyone can understand. Tires in Formula One don't just wear out, they fall off. Like, one lap, you're fine, next lap, you're sliding, you're slower. Your life is so much harder. So, when driver A is stuck behind driver B, they can pit first, put on the fresh tires, and start setting faster lap times immediately. Meanwhile, driver B stays out on older tires, losing time without even realizing how much. And when driver B finally pits, driver A has already gained enough time to come out ahead. It's giving strategic sneak attack. Why does it work? Well, fresh tires equals more grip. More grip equals faster laps. So, even though you gave up track position, you win it back through pace. Now, when it doesn't work, it just means you pit too early. Your new tires wear out too soon. You might come out in traffic, or the other driver just responds immediately and covers you. And then your undercut? Well, that becomes a waste of a good idea. And this is why pit timing feels so dramatic, because teams are constantly trying to undercut each other without saying it out loud. So, next time you hear they're going for the undercut, just know they're trying to win the position without passing on the track. Okay, before I end this episode, it's time for F1 News of the Week. This by far has been my favorite segment. We're actually going to talk about Max Verstappen today. Sit down, everyone. It's okay. I'm feeling fine. Max has been struggling this season. After the race, he said he's questioning how much longer he wants to stay in Formula One. It's not confirmed that he's leaving, not immediately, but he's thinking about it. And when a driver like Max says that, that matters. Because Formula One is changing. And clearly, not everyone is loving it, but we're trying to figure it out together. Now, since we're talking about Mr. Verstappen, maybe we should discuss the whole Max kicked out a reporter thing. That actually did not happen. I'm sorry, but Max is not running FIA security. He can barely escape the interviews. You think he's managing staffing decisions too? Let's talk about what actually happened. He didn't remove anyone. Actually, he can't remove anyone. Only the FIA or Team PR can do that. He got frustrated. Like, visibly frustrated. Reporters kept asking the same questions, controversial topics, slightly baity angles of certain questions. And Max was not playing along to that. It was shocking. Driver having a bad weekend, doesn't want to relive it 14 times in a row. Crazy, guys. So, he started giving shorter answers, shutting down questions, eventually not even answering questions. And that's the moment internet went, yep, he kicked someone out. No, he was just emotionally clocked out. Respectfully. This isn't new. Max has always been direct, blunt, not here for the nonsense. And honestly, a lot of drivers are like this. High pressure weekend, bad result, endless questions. It happens. Some drivers just give you PR answers. Max gives the truth, which sometimes is worse for headlines and his PR team. So let's be clear. No reporter was removed. No one got kicked out. It was just a tense moment that got turned into a full storyline. Because, of course it did. This is Formula One. We will create drama out of eye contact if we had to. But when you combine all of this, the frustration, the car issues, the rule changes, and now him saying he might leave or retire, this is bigger than one interview. This is a driver who is not enjoying what he does right now. And that's not a small problem when that driver is Max Verstappen. And you're probably wondering, Michaela, what does all this mean? So let me simplify it. Why is he thinking about leaving? Well, he doesn't like the 2026 regulations. He's not enjoying racing at all. Red Bull is struggling, and the lifestyle right now is a lot. And also, he's already a 4-time world champion. He doesn't really need this. So now the question becomes, does Formula One fix the direction it's going? Or risk losing one of the biggest stars of the racing? So, what did Suzuka show us? Well, Mercedes is back, Antonelli is the future, Red Bull is in trouble, the new regulations might be a problem. In Formula One, well, it's changing, and we're watching it happen in real time. But thank you so much for listening to Lights Out, Let's Chat. I'll see you next time.
From Lights Out to the Checkered Flag, this has been Lights Out, Let's Chat podcast. We'll see you next time.